Okay, good evening, everyone. I see that we have some participants in the Zooms, and it is 7 o'clock, so I will get started. Thank you for taking some time to learn more about our capital project proposal. Jim Anderson is here with me, and he'll be admitting more guests if any come past 7 o'clock. And I have Jason Rosno here who will talk about the financial piece of the project in a few moments. And Travis Payne has joined us as well from Hunt Architects, and Travis has been a big part of the design and development of the project. So thank you to those people for being here, and to all of you for wanting to learn more about the project. So we're very excited about this project, and for many reasons. And I will try to go through specifically what we are proposing to do in the project, as it does encompass many things in all of our buildings, on our grounds. And we really feel that there are things in this project that benefit the community, and also really focus on instructional needs that we have in our district. This project will not be a tax impact on the district or district residents. No additional tax impact, which is also something that we feel good about and proposing to our district residents. So a little bit of background about the project and how we got to where we are today. Every 5 years, the state of New York requires that districts complete a building condition survey, and that was completed last spring. Hunt Architects leads that project and that survey, and it really entails going through every building, every space, all of the grounds, and really checking to make sure we have a list of things that need to be repaired, possibly things that need to be renovated, upgrades, anything that we see that we might need to focus on. During this capital project planning, the board really felt that they wanted to create a facilities committee. And so that did happen. And we had 3 board members who represented the board on that committee: Cara Kranz, Rick Zellwegen, and Dale Seeley. Jason Rosno, John Machuga, myself were on that committee as well. And one of the things that we did with this project that may not have happened in the past is we also decided to interview stakeholder groups regarding the project. And so Hunt Architects also led that effort, and we interviewed every grade level, every department, coaches, IT department, cafeteria, custodians, bus drivers, to get an idea of what our district employees felt were necessities, and also things that they would love to have, but perhaps were not, a necessity. And so we had a very long list of items from all of the data that we collected. And we literally the committee went through, item by item to determine what we felt were priorities for us. At first, we always think about safety, and that is our first priority, and then our community and our district and the needs that we all have. And so tonight, we show you where we ended up after that entire process. Okay, so first of all, this project is a 2-proposition project, meaning that when people go to vote, there will be 2 propositions. And first, I'll talk about Proposition 1. This is about $30.6 million. Initially, when we started with the big list, we were at about $100 million. And Jason will talk in a little bit about how and why we came to this $30 million amount. As you start to look through the list of items that we would like to address in each building, you'll see all kinds of various tasks. Some that include the interior parts of our buildings, the exterior, and we also are not just addressing items in our elementary and secondary building, but also our bus garage, storage building, etc. And I'll go into more detail with some of these items in just a minute. But overall, the upgrades are aiming to improve safety. That's always also looking at the efficiency of our facility and the functionality, and then also enhancing it with some additional items. I think you just had someone enter there, Jim. Okay, so first we'll start with the middle high school, and this map provides a nice overview of the areas where we will be focusing on in the inside of the building. First, we have the light blue area, which is right at our entrance. Currently, we have a small canopy over the main entrance, and our proposal is to move that small canopy over to the gymnasium entrance and then build a larger canopy at the main door. This would enable students who are waiting to enter the building in the morning, as well as guests who might be waiting outside. They would have cover with that canopy. The light yellow is our auditorium, and we would propose to have a new floor and brand new seats installed in the auditorium. They are definitely in need of replacement. The dark yellow is our gymnasium. In this building, we do not need a new gym floor, but we do need to refinish it. So that would be one part of that project. We would also add new exterior doors, wall pads, wall paint, ceiling paint, and a digital screen scoreboard. In addition, we would add digital clock and shot clock. We would have a new window between the fitness room and the gymnasium. We would have toilet partitions and ceiling repairs in the locker rooms. At the concession stand, which is just outside in the hallway, that would receive new ceilings, flooring, and casework. And the boys and girls bathrooms right next to that would be completely renovated with new finishes and partitions. The medium blue color in the middle of the map is our main office. And if funds allow, we will do some upgrades there, kind of rearranging the space so that it's more efficient and that both the assistant principal and the principal can be housed in there in the main part of the school, front part of the school. The dark blue is our pool area. We propose to repair concrete wall, stairs, and bleachers that are in need of repair. We would upgrade the pool seating railings so that they are code compliant. We would add new wall paint, a pool deck, some pool deck tile, trench drain, a deck cover, and a diving board. The lighter blue, it's kind of the aqua color, is our cafeteria. We would like to renovate that space and replace and reconfigure the existing serving line equipment, make it kind of like a scatter serving approach, similar to what you might see at a college campus, just modernizing it, some high top tables, making it more inviting for students. We also need to replace a grill in that kitchen, and the kitchen would receive ceiling tile, paint, and new ceramic tile. Another proposal at the middle high school is outside, and we would propose to replace the playground that is currently there. If you drive by the middle high school building any day after school on the weekends, that playground is utilized tremendously. It is a really important part of for our community members, important piece for them. And that playground dates back to the 1990s. So it definitely is in need of repair, and we believe that it would be a nice benefit to the community. It would be a brand new playground. It would be generally right in the same place, and it would have the kind of spongy bottom rather than the wood chips that we now use. Some other additions here at the middle high school, we would repair the asphalt parking lots, the sidewalks, And if you walk around the school grounds, you see a lot of green fence and a lot of black fence. The green fence is the older fence, and we are in each project trying to replace that with the black fence. So we would continue to do that. We would replace our scoreboards. If Proposition 2 does not pass, we would then recondition our varsity soccer field. That is in dire need of a complete resurface, and completely redoing that field. You might also notice around the school that some of our windows are black and some of them are white. The newer windows are black, and we started that process in the last capital project. So our plan would be to continue to replace the windows that are still white in this project. We also have some masonry restorations. Again, I talked about the high school office, some toilet room renovations and upgrades, remodels, and then just some facility upgrades with our pneumatic controls and ventilation. We also are proposing that we pave the entire walking trail that goes behind the middle high school building. This picture is kind of a rendering of what the gymnasium would look like when we are finished with that. Additionally, at the high school, proposing some science room gas and air replacements, drinking fountain replacements to move to the bottle filler model, working on some water efficiency and our LED lighting upgrades. Our stadium lights are currently run by a generator, and our proposal is to hook those lights to the building so that it's just much more efficient and easier to use them. The classroom magnetic hold opens is a safety item, so that they all have the magnetic hold should they need to be opened or quickly closed. Exterior lighting for LED. If we're going to dig a trench to get the stadium lights hooked up, we also will make sure that the wiring is available for an EV guest charging station. We won't be putting the actual charging station in at this point, but the wiring will be there if and when we need to do that. There will be a new digital sign out front of the middle high school, and we will do some fob access control work, which is also a safety upgrade for us. Next is the elementary school. And we'll start with the light blue, which is toward the top of this map. And that is the entrance on 226. That will be a proposed canopy. As I discussed in the first with the middle high school, we'd like to build a canopy going out that sidewalk. That is the entrance that our students who walk or are dropped off, that is the entrance they use every morning. This would allow a place for them to stand if the weather is not good. And also when our guests are waiting to enter the building for an event, they would have the canopy as well. The dark blue, there's a lot of dark blue here. And one of the things that we really focused on as we looked at the list was, again, instructional improvements. And it became very clear that our classrooms at the elementary building are in need of renovation. And so that essentially all classrooms would be renovated. That would include casework, cubbies, doors, floor, ceiling replacements, full toilet renovations for those classrooms that have bathrooms, and some soundproofing in some classrooms. The dark yellow is our gymnasium. This gymnasium actually needs a complete renovation. This has not had a lot of attention in many years. So this would have a brand new wood floor, wall and ceiling paint, wall mats, new bleachers, a cheer mat storage, backstops. We would upgrade the exterior doors, new windows, and a digital clock upgrade. The light yellow is the library. In this space, we would propose a new floor and ceiling finishes. We'd like to relocate the reception desk for better sight lines and just more efficient use, and also reconfigure the workroom to gain additional educational space. And lastly, at the elementary, the aqua color toward the top is our kitchen. And we would like to first put more durable wall finishes in the kitchen, some ceramic tile, and really want to focus on the serving line, making that more user-friendly, actually adding another serving line. And also one of the sinks in that kitchen needs to be replaced. These pictures are just some first thoughts about how the classrooms might look once they are renovated. Some additional tasks at the elementary school would also be to focus on the parking lots and the sidewalks and the fencing and some tree removal as funds allow. We also have some masonry restorations and would continue with the window and door replacements as we are at the middle high school. Again, some more additions to the elementary school. Really, these are more kind of facility upgrades, but mechanical equipment replacements, pneumatic controls, the bottle fillers, working on our water efficiency, ventilation, LED, the classroom magnetic hold opens as in the middle high school. And then the elementary school would also receive a new digital sign out front. At the bus garage, you'll see, some basic upgrades and attention. We do have some drainage concerns at the bus garage, especially in the front, that need attention. We have some exterior and interior doors. There's parts of the concrete floor that need replacement. But the really big work here would be all of the overhead doors would be replaced. They are the original doors, and we realize that they are in desperate need of replacing. So that would be kind of the big focus there. You'll also see additional service for EV buses and pathways for future EV, and in parentheses, if mandated. The board talked a lot about this. If you're not aware, the law states that in 2027, school districts are to begin purchasing electric buses. So any new purchase as of 2027. And then all buses, the full fleet needs to be electric by 2035. There is talk and feelings and opinions that perhaps that law will change, or perhaps the dates will be pushed out. But I feel that we would be irresponsible if we did not think about this and do something in this project, just in case the law stands as it is. And so we have budgeted for this additional service so that the electricity would be ready to go once we start purchasing EV buses. Now, if something changes with the law, then that money would then be distributed elsewhere in, other things that we have on the list that we weren't able to afford. At the concession stand back here at the middle high school, we would be replacing the countertop, the floor, and also putting vertical grab bars in the bathrooms so that we are ADA compliant. In the press box, that needs a complete renovation. So countertops, flooring replacement, and interior wall paneling. The storage building at Savona needs some interior and exterior door replacements. Those two overhead doors would be replaced, and we need some masonry restoration and painting. So that's Proposition 1. And you can see that the majority of the work would be done in Proposition 1. Because there is not a tax impact, the board talked a lot about, turf and where we should go with that. And so it was decided to include a second proposition so that the community could have the choice of approving the work that I just explained to you, but maybe not approving the turf or approving both. So the turf is a little over $3 million. Turf, so if Proposition 2 is approved and 1 is not, then we do not have a project. The only way that this works is if Proposition 1 is approved and Proposition 2 is approved. That's how we would get all of the proposed things. So second proposition will include a turf field for our athletes and our students. And, more and more districts are going with turf. So this just kind of levels the playing field, no pun intended, but just keeps everyone kind of on the same type of field. Currently, we do keep our teams off the field during practices in the fall because the field just gets so torn up with all of the play that it has. This year, we did need to transport our soccer team to a turf field prior to sectional play so that they could get used to playing on turf, as our competitors all had been playing on turf the entire season. So later in the season, that grass field does become less than ideal. It gets many ruts and it's very worn out. And it does require quite a bit of maintenance from our crew. In the spring, softball and baseball, that also entails quite a bit of maintenance, getting the fields ready in the spring, lining them, mowing them. And typically, baseball and softball need to be inside at the beginning of the season due to how muddy it can be and snowy. This would allow our teams to be outside much, much sooner. And we also would look forward to using this for physical education, who could utilize these surfaces, from an educational standpoint and be out there much more than they are now. So this is basically what it would look like if we did do our turf fields. Again, the entire soccer field, and then the infield for the softball and baseball. And I'm going to have Jason kind of pick it up from here. Jason's our Director of Management Services and has been very much a part of this development, especially from the financial perspective.
Thank you, Ann, and welcome community members, and good evening. So I think the important thing to note right off the bat in terms of financials are that both propositions do not result in any sort of tax impact to the taxpayers in our district. And I'll explain a little bit on how that works and why it is that way. So as Ann noted in the beginning, the start of the process is the building condition survey, which identified just over $100 million worth of work. And so what we do is we take that amount of work and we know that we can't do all of that work at once. And there's two funding mechanisms in which we can tap into to do that work. Because most of these are things that we have to do in repairs that need to be done. You can either use our general fund facilities budget, which is our direct general fund local budget that is our taxpayers pay in every year. That's that part of that budget. Or we can tap into something what's called our capital fund and do a capital project, which is offset by New York State building aid. Our district is very fortunate in that we have a high building aid ratio, which means that the state reimburses us 94.2 cents on every dollar that we spend in the capital project. Building aid is available for all school districts in New York State. Depending on your wealth ratios, every school district's rate is a little bit different. Campbell-Savona has a generally high aid ratio for this. So it works really well in combination with our capital reserve, which is $5 million. So when we combined our aid ratio with our capital reserve, it results in no tax impact to our residents. Campbell-Savona has a strong history of capital projects. We've been on about a 3 to 5 year cycle for well over 20 years now of doing projects. This results with the combination of high building aid and the use of capital reserves. The district on a yearly basis is in a net positive position, which means we actually receive more building aid each year than we spend out in debt service payments. Debt service payments are the payments for past projects. So we're very fortunate that we receive on average about $200,000 each year more than we spend out on our debt service payments. So with these two projects, that would continue on, and we would not see any sort of tax increase, and that those averages would stay the same, and we would receive more aid than we spend in debt service payments. So it's very important to note the strong history that this district has used that funding mechanism in the past. It's worked well to create our really nice facilities and keep our maintenance costs down within our district, and using our local tax dollars to maintain and upgrade our facilities.
Okay, thank you. A couple of things that just to point you in the direction of some more information. If you go to our website on the main page, we have put this slide show on the website. So if someone could not attend tonight, it is there. There's also a FAQ document there as well, which is the kind of the commonly asked questions regarding the capital project and the answers. So that's there. And then we are recording this presentation, and the recording will also be posted by tomorrow morning on our website. So again, just to recap, this is our total expenditure with both propositions. The vote for the project is December 10th, which is next Tuesday from 12 p.m. until 8 p.m. at the Junior Senior High School Gymnasium Lobby. We would ask if you are a district resident that you come and vote. A reminder that there are two propositions. You will be asked to vote on both Proposition 1 and Proposition 2. And you can always email me with questions that you might be thinking about. We also will open up the chat at this point. If anyone does want to ask a question this evening, we'll stay on for a few minutes and see if there are any questions. And if not, again, feel free to email me and take a look at that the further information that I talked about. Just give it a few minutes and see if anyone does have any questions.
Cost year over right here on turf.
Okay, so there is a question that is asking about maintenance cost year over year on turf. Jason, do you want to talk to that? And maybe Travis could also have some thoughts on that.
So turf needs to be swept frequently just to keep any debris and leaves and things like that off it. So there would need to be a sweeper, and then there's also a groomer that does a little bit deeper conditioning of the turf, which needs to be done probably about once a year. But other than that, generally there's not much more maintenance on turf compared to mowing. We did an analysis of the cost of maintaining turf compared to what we do on our main soccer field and our baseball and softball field now, the infields, and we calculate about half of the cost our cost would be cut in half with having turf compared to the natural surfaces which we have now. So there would be some savings year to year with that.
And also, Travis, I do think I made you a co-host, so you can chime in if you want to at this point. There's also a question about the lifespan of turf, and I believe we've established that that's about a 15-year a lifespan. Is that right, Jason and Travis?
That is correct, Ann.
Okay.
Yeah,
15
it depends
years.
on the use. Yep. Minimum's probably 15 years. It depends on how heavy of use it gets and things like that. But.
And you're welcome. So this is regarding New York State mandating electric buses, but yet allowing artificial turf. That's a very good question. I'm not sure I have the answer to. I don't know. I wish we could have some of the answers of New York State's theories and philosophies, but. All right, any other questions at this point? Yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time to listen. And again, feel free to reach out. And again, the vote is next Tuesday, December 10th. I hope you all have a great evening. Thank you very much.